So look at this.
Nice.
Pretty cool. Looks like what, a citronella candle there?
Probably.
You know what's nice about having this one is we can sit out here in the later part of the day
And be in the shade.
and be in the shade. It's already unlocked. We don't have to unlock it. So we open up our door. What do we got in here? Map of Africa. Wow, this is pretty sweet.
Oh, it feels good in here.
It's pretty swank. Look at the big tongue on the bed.
And plenty of K-cup
Yeah.
coffees there.
We've got coffee.
And I'd just like to say again, it feels really good in here.
Yeah.
The temperature is infinitely better than outside.
Is there a light switch for in here? Oh, here we go. Wow. Oh, come here and look at the toilet cover. Look at the toilet paper.
The picture changes. That's cool.
That's really neat.
Looking forward to drinking coffee on one of these deck areas in the morning.
Yeah. Boy, this is really neat, Vicki. Opens out onto a private little deck here. This is really neat. This is very cool. What a neat little room.
Look at the tea box. I'd like to see him with one of these big balls. He chews on it and he pulls it underwater, throws it up over his head, and I like it when he throws it over his back like that.
yeah, I don't know if they're studying the same things we are.
Oh, really? want to jump in there and splash around with them?
Yes! I absolutely do. Jump on his back. Piggyback ride.
Yeah. You on his back or him on your back?
I think I'd rather be on his back.
Yeah. I wonder what his hair feels like.
I was thinking the same thing. Where'd it go? There it is! Hello, friend.
First, second, third trim, thumbs up. All right, awesome. All right, while we're here, I'll introduce two of our African servals to you guys, or their habitat per se. We do have two of them in this habitat here. It's actually connected to this little orange building right here. Their names are Say Say and JJ. So there's a male and a female living in here. We got these two recently. We actually got them a couple months ago. This woman actually had these two as pets. She kept them in her house. She recently lost her job due to COVID, so when that happened, she could not take care of these two anymore. So when that occurred, that's when she called us to grab these two. So since they are two of our newest arrivals though, they're still kind of getting adjusted to being here for their forever home. So they do tend to like to stay in their building a lot. However, JJ's a bit more active and a bit more curious of the outside world, so she does like to come out once in a while. So hopefully on the way back she will be out for you guys. But if not, that's their option here. So just to let you know, some of our animals might not be out. We do not force them to come out. If they want to go lay in the shade or lay somewhere else, that's their choice. Again, this is their forever home, so they get to do whatever they want to do. Alright, and now like I mentioned, we do have some lodging options. So we do have some safari lodging. We also have some tent and RV spots. We also have two glamping tents, and then coming up we do have two suites. They are known as the Bengal Suite and the Siberian Suite. These are really popular because you actually do have a neighbor right next to you, and I'll show you who she is. Another awesome thing that you can hear at night is actually the lions caroling. So they will do it throughout the night, throughout the day, anytime they want to.
Or not.
Alright, this is Flip's habitat. She's actually a white-nosed coati, or a coati for short. She might not be out right now. She's probably in her building as well. But we do have a picture of her for you guys to see. Now, again, like I said, it is pretty hot out today, so she's probably inside trying to cool off. However, Flip is also 16 years old, so she is an old gal. So she likes to sleep a lot nowadays. So we do have a hammock in there for her that she likes to sleep in. But since she's not out, I'll go ahead and get started on the next animal. Right here is Fergie. She's actually laying right here by her green bench. Now we do have this plastic up just because we do have some lodging people coming every now and then. So this is another way we try to protect our cats here. So we got Fergie though from Colorado in 2016. At this previous facility she was at, it was not a great facility. So they actually were part of the cub petting industry. They also did have poorly built habitats. Now when we got there, we noticed that the mulch that they were walking on had really sharp nails and screws in them. So it was pretty painful for them to walk around. Now there was 115 animals total on that facility, and we got to get everybody out of there. So we worked with 14 other true sanctuaries to give all of these guys a forever home. We have a lot of these animals on the tour today, so I will be saying Colorado again. So if you do hear me say that, that's that same rescue. If you guys did not see Fergie though, we do have another liger on this tour. Her name is Karma, so you guys will be able to see her if she's up close. All right, he is kind of hard to see, but there's Chief underneath this small bench right here. You can see his mane kind of sticking up a little bit. But we do have Chief and Mari living in this habitat here. We got these two from Indiana in September of 2020. And this owner that had these animals on his facility is actually affiliated with the Tiger King. So we actually have 4 lions and 4 tigers from that facility. Now when we got there, we noticed that Chief was very malnourished. He actually had a lot of parasites in him. He wasn't doing too hot. When we got there, we gave him enough fluids to get him going, and once he was brought here, we fed him 3 times a day. We also dewormed him, and as you can see, he is thriving now. Another thing, these animals have never touched grass until they got here, so that was also very brand new for him. But as you can see, he is enjoying it. He has gained a lot of weight since being here. He also really likes to lay in the grass like that all day until feeding time. Now, the reason why he did not have a lot of good health on him is because at this previous facility, this gentleman probably did not really care for these animals. He only cared about the profit. So a lot of the times these animals are not being taken care of because of that. And also there's just not enough people at facilities here in the US that are not knowledgeable about how to take care of animals, or especially tigers and lions. All right, here is Mari though. Now we do have these two currently separated. And that's because when we have a male and a female living together, we do eventually fix one of them. So we actually did give Mari here birth control, and we did actually try to reunite these two. However, it did not go as planned. So Mari here is 4 years old, and Chief is 16. So when they got together, she wanted to play. She was ready to go. However, Chief did not want to. He is not an active cat there. As you can see, he likes to sleep all day. So when that happened, and for these animals' safety, we do have them currently separated just for a while. However, they do enjoy each other's company. Whenever one's in the night house, they actually will come up to them and kind of sniff through the fence and rub on the fence as well. Alrighty. So they are on an alternating access schedule though. So Chief is out today, however Mari will have access tomorrow and she'll be out for the day. Alright, this is our African serval habitat coming up. We do have a building right here connected to their habitat as well. Now African servals are very used to warmer weather, so when it gets cold out here in Arkansas, we do provide them with some heaters in those buildings, and they'll most likely be in there the whole time because it is very nice and toasty. But since it's kind of nice out today, they might be out for you guys. We do have 5 African servals living in this habitat along with the Savannah cat. Their names are Sammy, Enzo, Bowden, Giselle, Whistler, and Tigger. Now all 6 of these guys were kept as pets as well. African servals are very popular here in the exotic pet trade because they are small, but they are still exotic. So people like to have these guys as pets because they are really tiny. It looks like there is one right here for you guys. This looks like Sammy or Enzo. It's very hard to tell when they are under shade. I cannot see who is who. But yes. But these guys are not good pets though. These guys can jump about 10 feet up in the air to catch their prey. They also can spray between 20 to 40 times per hour. That is a lot of pee. Not good for the furniture. These guys also have a really strong bite force. It is 3 times stronger than a feral cat. Now, there are bigger hybrids like ligers. However, there are smaller hybrids in these guys' type of cats. So Tigger is actually bred between an African serval and a domestic cat. So a lot of the times people like to make hybrids of these guys to see if they can tame them a bit more because they have that domestic cat side in them. However, that is not the case. For Tigger, he still is a tiny cat. He looks a lot smaller than these guys, and he can meow. However, he does have the same spots and stripes on him, and he still has those instincts in him to be an African serval. So that is the reason why we do have a roof over their head. We just don't want them to escape, along with our cougars who also like to jump very high. Alright, we'll get down to Daniel and Chloe. Looks like Daniel's right here underneath the tree. Chloe really likes to sleep on the bench, so hopefully she's over there for you guys. we'll go ahead and get down to her so you guys can all see them. There she is. All right, we got Daniel and Chloe from Colorado as well. I'll kind of make sure everybody gets to see them all. All right. Looks like Chloe's right here for you guys. Now Daniel is actually missing his right eye. So at this previous facility, it actually got injured. We weren't really sure what happened to it, and it was pretty painful for Daniel. So when he got here, we actually did remove it. So he is missing an eye, but he still acts like a normal lion. He still walks around and protects Chloe whenever needed. So again, he's still normal as can be. Now, like I said, we do fix our cats when there's a male and a female living together. So for Daniel's case, we actually did give him a vasectomy. And that's because he still has his big mane on him, and that's the way we want it to be for him. So if we were just to neuter Daniel, that mane on him would have fallen all off. So that mane is actually connected to his testosterone. So if you ever see a lion that has a large mane and a darker mane, that shows that he has a lot of testosterone in him. You guys in the third tram, can you guys see him okay? Thumbs up. Awesome. Dan, can you stop for a second? Thank you. All right. So like I said, the bigger the mane, also the darker the mane, the better for these lions. So that is why we did give Daniel a vasectomy. We wanted to keep Chloe happy and Daniel happy at the same time. Another thing, if Daniel would have if his mane would have fallen all off, that would have been very dangerous for him because Chloe might not have recognized him. So we again wanted to keep everybody safe in here. Another reason why we do not breed here is because there's about 10,000 cats in ownership here in the U.S. So we want to rescue those guys first before any more babies come out. Alrighty, we'll go ahead and keep on going to Savo.
Is there no risk of like the tiger or the lion getting out? They just can't climb and jump
Okay,
that
good
high?
question. Yeah, so they never try to. So they never try to jump out or anything like that. That's also, we also have to have our fencing a specific height. So this is all USDA as well. So they have to be, I think this is at least 16 inches, or not inches, but 16 feet. And then there's the 3 inches right there, that 3 feet part. So they don't tend to escape or anything like that. We also have electric fencing around for our bears too, just in case that happens as well. Alright, this is Savo here on the bench. He likes to sleep out here a lot. We actually got Savo from Branson, Missouri in 2009, along with 3 other tigers and Flip, who was up there. Now, lions are actually very social, so they do tend to carol. It is very loud. You can actually hear it from about 5 miles away from here. And it's just a way that they do communicate with one another. So the louder the better for these guys. So if Savo were to start caroling, he actually would get all the lions to carol. So tigers, they're a bit more solitary. They don't tend to make a lot of loud noises as these guys do. However, they still do. So you've got your normal roaring and your growling when they're around food. They also do chuff, which is a positive noise. That's usually what they do to communicate with one another, kind of saying, hey, it's okay, you're fine, things like that. These guys also like to carol as well. Some of our tigers here, they try their best, but it's not as loud. They also like to moo. We actually have some cows around here, so they do kind of make that moo noise. So that's usually for the tigers, though. All right, there she is. This is Savannah. So Savannah's another female lion. We got her from Indiana as well. Now, when we get new rescues here, we allow them to adjust at their own pace because some might take longer than others. So in this case, Savannah did have a hard time when she got here. She was very scared and very nervous. But now that she's gotten to stay here for a while, she's a lot more comfortable. She actually likes to stalk Savo over there. I think she has a crush on him. Whenever he's moving around, Savannah is also moving around at that same areas. She also really enjoys sticks. She actually will find a good stick in her habitat and she'll start munching on it. We also do like to throw them in there for her as well, and she really likes to go out and chase them. Alright, and as we drive around, you are going to notice that we do have some fencing around the trees. and that's for the protection of the habitats and for the animals. These guys have really sharp claws and they like to scratch. So we try to prevent that from happening. But we do have some logs that are in these habitats. Those benches that you see in there are really awesome as well. They are metal framed, but they have wooden boards on top. And these guys like to scratch those wooden boards as well. And once those get worn down, we can actually go in and replace them easily. Alright. So we do feed our animals here once a day. We actually get 300,000 pounds of chicken donated to us by Tyson. So these guys will get a mixture of bone and boneless depending on the diets or their specific likes as well. For bears, we also do feed them chicken, and they also do get a bear dish, which is where we will put popcorn, peanut butter, we'll put some bread in, oats, cereal, fruits and veggies. We also do scatter feed into their habitats. Now, like I said, we try to keep our animals as natural as possible. So when we throw produce into the habitats, we encourage them to go out and forage. So that is what we hopefully want them to do. So we usually will do some apples, carrots, sweet potatoes, oranges, things like that. Alright, this is Mama and Bosco. So Bosco is right here on this bench for you. And then Mama's kind of over here, looks like she's got her eye on something. But we got these two from Colorado as well. However, these two were part of the breeding, or the speed breeding there in the Colorado facility. So we actually have 6 tigers here that have come from Mama and Bosco that have also come from that rescue. So their tigers are Tanya and Kisman. There's Aurora. There is also Snowball, who is coming up. We also do have triplets here. Their names are Blackfire, Payne, and Rockland. Now, if you guys don't know what cub petting is, that is where if you went to a facility and played with a tiger, a baby tiger or a baby lion, took pictures with it, that is what cub petting is. However, that seems really cool, but in the end it is not for these animals. So when these cubs are born, they actually are immediately taken away from mom, and they don't get mom's milk or mom's nutrients. So when they do that, they lack that, and that's when they do get metabolic bone disease. So this is a low bone density in their bodies, so whenever they're being played with too roughly, in the end they could get fractures in their back legs, or their front, any type of leg, front and back legs. So that is the case for Blackfire, Payne, and Rockland. So when they got here, they actually had about 17 fractured bones in their back legs, so they could barely walk. So we gave them enough nutrients though and a proper diet, and they are doing awesome now. They are about 6 years old today, and they are walking. Usually though, when cubs reach about 4 weeks old, that's when they are legally able to be played with and also take pictures with. They're not grown up yet, or they're not dangerous. However, once they reach 12 weeks old, that's when they are considered too dangerous, and then that's when they are either euthanized. So that means they're not usually getting euthanized in the most humane way, and also they are putting back into the speed breeding. So then that's their turn to go ahead and start breeding with other animals. It's not good for these guys though. When Mama and Bosco got here, they were very nervous. They were very scared as well. Mama did have a hard time, but she now is enjoying life here in this habitat. She really likes to be out here all day. She actually will be out here until feeding time, which is around 4:30. As you can see though, she is actually a pure white tiger, so you can hardly see her stripes on her body. They're actually very faint on her. So along with this pure white tiger, the white tigers here are inbred in the US. So I'll explain that as we get to another set of white tigers. Now you guys might not be able to see it, but we do have another area of habitats down here. It is known as Rescue Ridge. In 2012, we had to build 20 habitats down there for 28 cats that we got from Mountainburg, Arkansas, from a woman who was most likely the very beginning of this cub petting industry. Now we did not have enough room up top here, so that is why we had to build habitats down there. All of those cats lived their lives down there until they all did pass away. So now that's our retirement center for our older cats. So when these cats have a hard time going up and down these hills, or they have other health issues, we will send them down there. It is a lot flatter for them. It's a lot more quieter, and they can do whatever they want down there, which is mainly sleeping. Now big cats, they actually sleep between 18 to 20 hours a day, so that is what they're doing a lot of the time. They're a bit more active at night, so they're a little bit more nocturnal. Alright, this is our vet hospital as we drive by on your left. We actually built this in 2016, so about 3 weeks before that big Colorado rescue. We actually can do our own surgeries down there. We have our own recovery room. We actually have a part-time vet that comes out twice a week, and she'll go down there and do any necessary surgeries, or she'll just come up here and check out on our animals, make sure they're doing okay. We actually can bring some equipment down there up top here into the night houses, so that way we don't always have to sedate these animals and transfer them down there. This is Glacier. He is a white tiger. He does live with Ungawa, who is a female lion. So let's see if she's out here somewhere. We got these two from Indiana as well. Now, like I mentioned, there is a liger. However, there is also something called a tigon. So a tigon is where the dad is a tiger and the mom is a lion. So in this case, like I said, we have a tiger and a lion living in here. So if they were to breed, that is what they will make. They would make a tigon. Now, ligers, they do suffer from gigantism, which is a hormone imbalance in their bodies. So they don't really know when to stop growing. So the largest that a liger can get is about 1,000 pounds. The largest that is known out here in the U.S. at a different facility is about 900 pounds. So because of this big size, though, they do suffer a lot from organ deformities. Their organs, they stay at a normal size. However, their bodies, they get really large. For tigons, that is the exact opposite. They actually suffer from dwarfism. So they can get really tiny, so that's when they have really short legs and really short arms. Now, female ligers have a 50% chance of reproducing, while male ligers don't. They are sterile. So we do, again, like I said, have a tie liger here and a lie liger. So if you ever hear that, that liger side is always going to be the mom, and then the tie or the lie is always going to be the dad's side. All right, and down this road we have a building called commissary. This is where we do all of our food prep. So this is where we'll give out their diets. We also do get some downed cows from here. A lot of local farmers have these cows that die of natural causes, and when that happens, they will send them down here and we actually butcher them ourselves. They don't tend to get this butcher a whole lot, but whenever they do, it's a nice little treat for them. So besides their diets, though, we do give them extra vitamins on their food. We'll give them some vitamin B, vitamin E, glucosamine, chondroitin. We'll also do salmon oil. All of these benefit them with their coats and also with them staying healthy for their bones as well. All right. This is Luna here on your right. She's actually one of my favorites here. She does live with Remington, who is probably up top in his den. He likes to sleep a lot in there. We got these two from Florida in January of 2020. Excuse me. It actually took us 3 years to get these guys. Now at this facility, when these two were cubs, they actually were part of a program there called Swimming with the Tigers. So you actually can go into a pool with these two and play with them. They also were part of the cub petting as well. They actually used to have leashes on them, and whenever they wanted to sit down or walk away, they would be yanked back by their tail or by their leashes. So we worked alongside with PETA, and we were able to get these two to their forever home. However, it did take us 3 years to get these guys. So sometimes it takes us a long time to get these animals, or sometimes it takes us a shorter time. We usually just will get a call, we'll get asked if we can take them in, and if we can, that's when we'll go ahead and grab them. Now, like I said, they were a part of a Swimming with the Tigers program. However, we still give them the option to go into the pool if they want to. So as you can see, Luna just jumped right in. When they got here, they were a little scared of these pools and the hoses, but they have gotten comfortable now that they really enjoy swimming in them. So again, it's their option if they want to or not. All right, this is Karma. Karma is that other female liger that I mentioned. We got her from Shafford, Missouri, along with her brother Brady, who did pass away, and then also Keisha, who is down at Ridge. Now at this facility, it was actually a drive-through safari park, so you actually could drive in and you can have Karma walking around. Sounds terrifying to me, but that is what happened. They did also have a lot of USDA violations against them, and also they were asked to make their fences a bit higher, but they did not want to participate. So when that happened, that's when they got rid of some of their animals. Now, as you can see, the characteristics of a liger. Can you guys see them in the back, third tram? Can you see Karma? Okay, Dan, can you stop here for a second? Thank you. All right, I'll talk about the characteristics of a liger. So as you can see, she still has those tiger stripes on her body. You can see them going down from her neck all the way down to her tail. She also does have white spots on the back of her ears. So these white spots and the tiger stripes come from tigers. Usually for tigers, when they're out in the wild and they move their ears, those white spots look like eyeballs. So when they shake them like that, that is what they're trying to do to distract their prey and also other tigers around them. For the stripes though, that allows these animals to stay really small when they're trying to hide from their prey as well. They don't want to be seen as big, because that's when the prey will go ahead and run off. However, that is the tiger part of these ligers, but for lion side, as you can see, she looks like a female lion, and then her tail has a dark bushy end, so just like female lions do. For male ligers, they do look just the same. However, they do have a tiny mane around their neck, so they have a lot of excessive hair around their neck, just like a lion does. Another thing for ligers, some of them like pools, some of them don't. So when we give our tigers pools out here, we will give Fergie a pool. She really likes to sit in there. However, for Karma's case, she has more lion in her, so she does not really care for the pool. So she did not get one for today, or this summertime. All right. This is Tigger and Floyd. This is their habitat right here. You actually can see Floyd right here. He actually just turned around to change his position. All right, and Tigger might be out here in the habitat, but this is their little night house area. So as you can see, they do have some cemented areas. That's really nice for them because they actually can go into the night houses and kind of cool off on that cement. That's where we do feed them as well. So we do have little metal boxes inside there. We actually will slip a silver dish into that metal box, you can see, and we'll take that top lid off. We just try to prevent our fingers from being bitten off, so that is why we do that here. These guys are still pretty food aggressive, so when they see the food, when they smell the food, they are hungry. Now for Tigger and Floyd's story, we got them from Oklahoma in January of 2019. This gentleman actually did save them from the aftermath of the cub petting. So once they were no longer useful, he did grab these guys, which was really cool because they did not have a sad situation like many other cubs do. However, he was not very knowledgeable about how to take care of tigers. So that's when he gave us a call to grab these two, along with Robbie, who is on the end of this tour as well. These two are about 3 years old, so they're still pretty young. Here is Tigger right here for you guys. He likes to sleep on his bench a lot. Now as we drive by, you can notice that he does not look like a normal orange tiger. So he actually is known as a golden tabby tiger. So he has strawberry colored fur. We actually have another tiger here who looks just like Tigger. Now this is also part of the white, or the inbreeding, along with the white tigers. You are not going to find this kind of colored tiger out in the wild. It would not benefit them outside there because they would not be able to blend in with anything around them, and also their tiger stripes. There are about 30 golden tabbies, but they are all found in facilities, so they are not, again, found in the wild. All right. This is Poncho in Montana's habitat. Looks like one of them is out right now. That is either Poncho or Montana. So we got these two from Colorado. They actually are brothers. Unfortunately, we did have to separate these two, and that's because they were getting very territorial with their habitats and getting very aggressive with one another. So when that happens, we do eventually have to separate them. So they are also on an alternating access schedule as well, along with Chief and Mari. Now that is not what we want to do here. It's not ideal, but we want to make more habitats so everybody has a chance to be out. However, for materials to make more habitats, it costs around $25,000, so that's a lot. So that is for the reason why we do have them separated for now. All right, I did see Roman or Donner does have access today. So Roman and Donner live in this habitat here. I did just see him walking around, but I cannot see him anymore. We got these two from Colorado as well, and they also are separated along with Poncho in Montana. Now for white tigers, you are not going to find one out in the wild anymore. So they are not found in the snow, they're not found in the Arctic, and they are not Siberian tigers. The way this is all started was a white tiger that was found out in the wild in the 1950s in India. Once he was discovered, he was sent here, and he actually started to breed with his daughters. So I'll explain why. So you cannot get a white tiger unless both male and female have a double recessive gene in their body. So this white tiger did breed with an orange tiger who did not have that gene. However, once those cubs were born, that is when that gene appeared. So that is where that inbreeding comes from. So that's when the dad and the daughter started to breed. The quickest way to get more was to do that as well. So the closely related these animals are to one another, the higher chance you are going to get a white tiger. However, because of this, they do have a lot of health issues. So all white tigers have some sort of crossed eyes. Some are more severe than others. So for Roman here, he actually cannot see very well. He has to tilt his head because of his bad vision. For Donner though, it looks like he does not have any crossed eyes. Another thing that they can get is they can get organ deformities, melanoma. They also can get cleft palates. So sometimes their noses look like a pug nose. So if you guys did not see up top yet, we do have a poster that does have Kenny the white tiger. He used to live here with us.
What do you think he's doing?
Scratching his feet. He's doing yoga, maybe.
Yoga?
Yoga.
Maybe.